Look at me back again. Let's get some pleasantries out of the way. Welcome to my dumpster fire on this corner of the internet. I'm Mira, or Irrational Mirror, and today I have another watercolor speed paint. Unlike last time though, this one's not a redesign of a cartoon character, but instead a original sort of doodle I did in complete impulsive boredom. With a bit of like a preface to this is I did something like the other day, kind of similar to this, and I liked it a lot. So I thought I'd try again today and maybe try and make it like nicer. Yeah, that's not how this turned out at all. I think I'm just gonna kind of give a bit of a commentary of what I feel is wrong with it, as well as just like sliding in some random things to pad out giving a commentary over a whole entire video, which is like 10 minutes long, and all of my regrets are realized in one instant. I can't speak English. Let's go. So, first thing I have to say that was a big mistake is I did not actually sketch with a pencil and actually figure out what I was doing first. I kind of just went in and did my like under sketch with light watercolors and then immediately jumped in to do the more details like the outlining and the shading and everything. That was a huge mistake. Especially since I already horrifically struggle with shading and lighting, and I also suck at foreshortening, which is something I decided was a good idea to do in this. That being with her hand, their hand being kind of at the side of their head, slightly behind, like they're like flattening down their hair. A common trait of my own, to be fair. It looks bad. Their arm by the end looks kind of janky to me, and it just looks bad. I also, throughout this, did not wait for anything to dry while I was painting. I just kept adding more layers and trying to make more changes. I even accidentally screwed up on one part because I tried to, like, pat dry it a little bit, and it fricked up. It messed up all of my colors that were there, so I went back over them and tried to fix them, and I went back trying to add like more defined shading on certain edges, and it looked bad. And then I did my pièce de résistance, that is the marker outlining, and then went over it one more time with some acrylic white paint to put in some highlights, which also look like fresh crap. And that's it. This whole video I could sum up to being a horrible decision after horrible decision, and why am I even bothering to commentate over this and then post it to the internet? Because I have to learn to just everyone in general has to learn to just accept when they make a horrible mistake after horrible mistake, and then just move on to the next thing. Because I think this is something a lot of artists struggle with, especially the new ones. And I know I struggle with this a lot still, and I used to struggle with it even more before now, which is the looking at your art and then just being overcritical of yourself and hating everything you did, every decision you make, and then just kind of ruining art for yourself. Like, don't get me wrong, being critical of yourself is good. Recognizing where you made mistakes and where you should improve is a good thing. However, if you spend too much time in your head looking at art you've done, you start to hate it, and you start to hate yourself, and you always will start putting yourself down, and then you'll just never get better and you'll end up hating art, which in general shouldn't be something someone does. You should love art. You should love what you're doing. You shouldn't hate yourself all the way through it. So, I mean, I'm gonna put up this because, I mean, I don't like it. I think it looks like crap. Someone might think it looks good, and that's, I mean, people's tastes. And my method of dealing with this is, one, accepting when you make too many mistakes like this, and then two, don't focus on them. I go through sketchbooks a month, one sketchbook a month, multiple pictures a day. And my biggest thing is, don't look back. Like, even if you don't finish a picture, just keep going. If you lose inspiration for that one picture, just go on to the next one. Find something. If you go all the way through and finish it, that's good, but don't sit and ruminate on what you did, because it's not helpful. You can always look back. Like, I like to look back in my sketchbooks at the beginning of the next month when I start my new one, so I can see exactly what I did for the whole month, like what I kept doing over and over again, what maybe I should be focusing on for this month, which I technically didn't finish my sketchbook in time because I kept accidentally starting later into the month on some of these sketchbooks. So I still have a few more pages in this one before I finish it, and then I'll be on to my July sketchbook. But I'll probably post like a video of me going back through them this month. Hopefully I'll do that. I need to start like getting on top of sketchbook tour videos. But yeah. Going back, looking at what you did throughout that whole month, and then figuring out what you want to focus on for the next month, and then doing it. I think the biggest thing is I focus a lot on what size my sketchbook is. This one was relatively small, so I did a lot of smaller pieces, but when I get like a bigger sketchbook with like more the American standard size, like 8x11 I think is what it is, 9x11, then I focus more on drawing comics, because that's what I want to do. That's something I'm still working on, and I've recently had a lot more inspiration for like how to progress the story from the beginning to where I accidentally started. So I know that's something I'm going to be focusing a lot for July, and I'm excited to be focusing on that throughout July. But first I have to finish this sketchbook, which is like an absolute train wreck. That's another good thing to think of, is being able to joke. Like, you can be critical of yourself and take your own criticism, also take criticism from other people, but you don't have to take all of it to heart. And you can pick and choose what you think you should focus on more. And again, like, choose 1 month to focus on one thing in specific, and then incorporate it into more of your art. Like, pick a month to just focus on drawing hands, or just focus on expressions, or just focus on lighting, which I should really take that advice because I suck at lighting. But yeah. And I don't know, I feel like I've gone all over the place with this advice, but this is winding down to like towards the end of the video anyway, and you can see me in my Sharpie trying to at least pick out good spots and outline it to make it look good. I think actually, I will admit, my favorite part about this whole thing is the floof of hair at the front and then the lips. And I think that's purely because I like how I draw lips. But yeah. Take any of this advice I gave you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed my rambling. And hope you find any of this information like useful. And we get into the end credits of this, which is I'll link in the description the finished picture, which I'll end up putting on my Instagram. There will be a link to my TikTok, my DeviantArt, all the places I am in general, and leave a like, leave a comment. If you're one of those people who decides they want to follow me, I don't know. Eventually, I'm probably going to put my Discord in the description. But for now, that's